Yay. Hi, happy Tuesday. We want to just thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be here about the next 20 to 30 minutes. My name is Tammy Michelli. I am a mom, a grandma, and also a nurse. And we are going to talk about some new habits so we can fall into wellness. And I don't mean trip and fall. I mean like it's fall outside. The colors are changing. We want to be well and healthy, especially with the holidays coming up, right? So we'll be talking about that tonight. I'll be sharing a PowerPoint with you. And I'm going to go ahead and just start my screen here to keep me on track. And alrighty. Okay, so we'll be kind of going through this and then we'll follow up at the end. So again, thank you so much for being here. We are going to be talking about inspiring healthy living, and health means a lot of different things to different people. As we were talking a little bit earlier, health can mean, adding one simple change or doing a whole kit and caboodle of lots of different changes. So we're going to go through some of that. So why are we talking about this tonight? Because we are unhealthy. Our statistics are very profound. Being a nurse, I've seen this at the bedside, and it's increasing. Our statistics are increasing. 1 in 4 people are going to die of heart disease. 1 in 2 women, 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050, and we're already almost at 2025. Like, we have to do something to change those numbers. And 1 in 5 children is obese. And since this pandemic, many more obesities become its own pandemic. So that's something we really need to be aware of. Our children, though, are more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. I mean, to me, when I first heard that, I was like shocked. But it's the truth. Food is so powerful, either to build us up or to tear us down. And some of these things, factors along with food, are because of our environment too. We have increasing toxins just all around us. I'm not going to read all this on here, but you can see just breathing the air how toxic and polluted it is. Our soil is contaminated, so our food gets contaminated. Some of our pharmaceutical or prescription drugs are ending up in the water, and we just can't get rid of those. Plastics, hair supplies, even things we put on our skin can get absorbed and become toxic in our body. So we just need to be aware of that. We can't fix everything, but there are certain things that we can do, and we're going to talk about a few of those tonight. Also, our food quality is decreasing. I don't know about you guys, but I remember picking the most delicious food, peaches off trees in my neighbor's yards, and pears, and they were delicious. Now, if you bite a peach, sometimes you can chip your teeth because they're so hard, right? So you have to be really careful about what you eat. But a lot of what we eat is processed foods, and those foods are filled with all kinds of things that are not good for us. Trans fats, food dyes, artificial colors, growth hormones, synthetic vitamins. The broccoli that we eat can lose 50 to 80% of the key nutrients before we even purchase it. And if you can see here this picture with this syringe, a lot of our food, I don't know if you know this, but our food is being injected with chemicals. And that's just not a good thing. So we can make some simple changes, and I just want to throw this out here so I don't forget. One of the things we can do is grow our own food. So we don't have to worry about the pesticides and the contaminants that are on there. And we have this thing called a tower garden. And I love this because we can grow indoors and outdoors. And if you want more information about this, talk to the person who invited you. But it's very sustainable for our environment. And so we're saving some of those gas fumes and stuff from transporting kale from, California and, things from South America that are not nutritious anyways. And we can grow our own. And as you can see through here, we're saving less water, it takes up less space, and it's safe and nutritious. And there's other ways we can be healthier too, right? We can, of course, we want to be exercising and sleeping 7 to 8 hours, keeping that stress down. And I don't know about you, but for me, stress is the most difficult thing sometimes. Even if I'm doing everything else right, that stress can creep in. And one of my bad habits when I'm stressed is to eat. Eat things that are not good. And then I feel it. I can get almost like a hangover from eating poorly. It puts me in a sleep coma. It gives me headaches. It makes me nauseous. Why do I do it? I don't know. I'm learning not to do it. And that's why I'm looking forward to kind of cleaning up and getting rid of some of these toxins in my body. Also, drinking more water, using safer products, I just learned the other day you can actually take your banana peel and put lime on it and put it on your skin. It's supposed to help clean up your skin and get rid of some of those age spots. I haven't tried it yet, but I just might. And then eating whole foods, not all that processed foods. And tonight we're going to be talking about fruits and vegetables. And experts agree that most diseases are preventable with good nutrition. And over like 70-75% of diseases are preventable. That's especially as a nurse, when you see sick people in the hospital and you think if you just changed what you eat, you could be healthier. Oh, we need to get the word out. Okay, so why is it that vegetables and fruits are what we're going to talk about tonight? Well, they have something called antioxidants in them. Probably most of us on here have heard about them. Oxidation is something that happens in our body, which is normal. We all have it from the moment we take our first breath. If we don't manage it, it leads to disease and quicker aging. That's why a lot of the presidents turn gray as soon as they have presidency, because of all that stress in their body, it's causing that aging. But the good news is that we can put antioxidants in our body to slow that aging process down. And that comes from fruits and vegetables. And there's hundreds of these wonderful antioxidants that we can get. If you look at this apple here, the lemon, if you have an avocado or an apple and you squeeze lemon on it, it helps keep it from browning as quickly, which is that antioxidant effect. So that's just a great visual. If you don't use the lemon, you can see how the apple has browned more. So that's why the news is that fruits and vegetables are good for us, right? They are so good, they can save our life. You guys ready for a nice big salad tonight? And look at all these colors. And beets, oh my gosh, they are so delicious. Yummy. All righty. No, it's not going to turn. Why is it not turning? There we go. Okay, and because fruits and vegetables are so important, we need to eat 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. And if you are an athlete, or if you have a chronic illness, or you're under extra stress, you need to aim more towards 18 servings a day. And that's about your fist size. So a young child, or a big athlete, or a man, they're going to have, their portion sizes are going to be a little bit bigger. So that's a good defining way just to say, yes, this is a good serving. And so we need to be eating in that 7 to 13 servings a day. We need to be eating that rainbow of color, because everything we have gives us different nutrition. And why is this? Well, as we know, green bananas. When green bananas are picked, they are never going to get all of their nutrition. Fruits and vegetables get all of their nutrition while they're connected on the vine. Once they're picked off the vine, they're already immediately start losing nutrition. It's like buying a car, right? We get a nice car. The minute we drive it off the lot, what does it do? It depreciates in value. I don't know why, but that's what happens. And it's the same thing with our fruits and vegetables. So now, as we get those bananas and they start turning yellow, and then kind of yellow and brown, they're not actually getting ripened and getting more nutrition. They're actually decaying and getting less nutrition. And that's the same thing with all of our produce. So just like going back to that tower garden, when you're picking your vegetables fresh off there and eating them fresh, you're going to get that most nutritional punch that you can get. But if you're having it transported across the country, it's not going to be that very nutritionally dense. Plus, it could be, as we saw, injected with chemicals. And so what a lot of people do, because their diets are lacking, is they turn to whole foods. To vitamins instead of eating whole foods. 70% actually of Americans try to fill the gaps with multivitamins. And as a nurse, I used to work labor and delivery, and that's what we gave all of our pregnant moms, right? A prenatal vitamin. Looking in retrospect, because I'm not actively nursing now, although I keep my nursing license up to date, there's no research that those vitamins do any good in the body. And a lot of times they'll say you need it because of the folic acid, right? We've all heard this if we have children. Well, you need that folic acid way before you get pregnant, because that's what helps the baby's spine to develop. Once you get your vitamins and you're pregnant, sometimes it's a little bit too late anyways. So we need to be conscious of what we're putting into our mouth. And if you look at this beautiful apple, down here, I love this. An apple has approximately 10,000 phyto means plant nutrients working in synergy together. So when you take an isolated vitamin, I think of kind of like a Fred Flintstone car. You know, you've got a, you know, a steering wheel here and a, you know, maybe a tire here and a, you know, hubcap, and but Fred has no floor, so he's got to use his feet, right? And he has no air conditioning and he has no heat, and the birds can poop on his head because it's all open on top, right? And he's got those big dinosaur birds, right? I know that's a bad description, but it just came to mind, so I had to share it with you. Anyways, if you think of the whole food nutrition, those 10,000 phytonutrients, think of your Lamborghinis. You know, they are top of the line. That's what you want to be driving, right? So think about that with our food. And so this is just a great description. Isolated vitamins are what we get in a vitamin. So even like a vitamin C, we're only getting a few parts of that. We're not getting even the whole vitamin C. I think actually one of our guests here on the thing talks about the a stool with three, you know, how a stool has 3 legs. It's like having a stool with only 1 leg, right? You're not getting the whole thing there. Not a very good, comfortable place to sit. Where if you look at this other list that I just put up here, this is 400 of those 10,000 plant nutrients. Think of that beautiful symphony orchestra. It just plays beautifully, right? And when we put food in our body, it just works beautifully to do what it has to do, because our body is an amazing machine. And so one of the things I have learned to bridge the gap, like I said, after being a nurse for so long, I was actually invited to hear a doctor speak. And I was really, you guys, blown away. It was the first time I heard about the power in fruits and vegetables. And I've been a nurse for a long time, since the 1980s. And when they talked about plants and as helping to protect disease and keep us, you know, well and nutritious, I just was like, why didn't I know this? Why, when I worked with cancer patients, didn't I have this information to share with them? Instead, I was feeding them with sugar and chocolate and all kinds of things that really didn't build them up. And at the time, I didn't know what I didn't know, but now I do. So now I have to share, and that's part of the reason why I'm here tonight. So at this talk I went to by this doctor, he talked about getting those 7 to 13 servings in, but most of us won't, don't, or can't. So he talked about a simple way to help to bridge the gap. And that's through this product called Juice Plus, which is concentrated broccoli and kale and parsley and pineapple and acerola cherries and all these other things that the water is extracted and they're put into capsules. So I travel a lot, and this is my one daily go-to, my constant, no matter where I am. This is my one constant to fill in that nutritional gap. And so this picture is just beautiful. You see how we're supposed to eat the rainbow of colors. So we've got our fruits, our vegetables, and our berries. Like I said, when we eat food, our body knows what to do with it. And the other thing, this is a plant-based omega. And there's no fish involved in this. And I'm an ocean lover. I love marine life. And when I learned that by making fish oils, we are killing hundreds of thousands of dolphins and whales and sharks and other little fish, it just really truly broke my heart. And then of course our company developed this plant-based omega that is not only just omega-3s, but it's 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, all from plants. And it's not killing any dolphins, whales, sharks, or the little fish. And it's just brilliant. And we need these omegas for our heart and our brain, our joints, you know, our skin and our eyes. It's so important. So these are some of the things you can do as like a one simple change in your diet. And then we have a delicious shake, right? There's, again, it's plants. There's no animals in this at all. It's all plants. They're low glycemic, meaning it doesn't, like if you eat a candy bar, it spikes your sugar and then it drops and then you're tired. This gives you a nice steady blood sugar level. It's completely balanced. It's nutritious. They're delicious. If you have not tried them, you need to try them. It's my go-to as well. I went to Italy for a month and I had a whole suitcase filled with these. They were wondering what I was doing at the airport. But this is, again, it goes everywhere with me. And we also have a recipe book that has lots of ideas. You can see you can make energy bites. You can make shakes. You could throw it in your pancake mix. Your kids don't even have to know it's there. Water washed soy is one of the basic protein powders, but we have quinoa and amaranth, pea protein, all these other proteins, and mushrooms for a good source of vitamin D as well. And it's safe. So safe that MD Anderson, which is a cancer place, actually used our complete shakes and our fruit and vegetable capsules in one of their studies on ovarian cancer survivors. Like, that speaks loudly to me. I feel so good about sharing this with other people. And so what do we do with this? We are bridging the gap. I love that this center right here does not replace eating whole foods. If you look at this, many of it, this is our diet, right? Donuts, pizza, hamburgers, French fries. But look on the right here. You've got peppers and carrots and green beans, all these colors. And about 20 years ago, for whatever reason, before I learned about the power of fruits and vegetables, I started craving this on my plate, and I thought, what is going on? But we have this inner voice that tells us what we need to be healthier, and if we listen to it, there's a really good reason why. So the center part really just bridges the gap, because most of us, even if we're trying our best, it's really hard to get that rainbow of color of whole vine ripened produce consistently every single day of the year. So why is it unique? Just to kind of summarize, Juice Plus is not a vitamin. It actually has a food label on it. It's vegan, it's kosher, it's dairy and gluten-free. It's made with non-genetically modified ingredients. It has a third party, which is called NSF, which tells us that what is on the label is in the product and nothing else, because a lot of times when you buy other products, it could be contaminated with really bad things or not even have what it says on the label in the product. So again, that's a safety net. As a nurse, especially working labor and delivery, I want to call, if somebody's pregnant, it's like, okay, if you're open, I have something I want you to listen to. I want them to get this in because it's safe and it's good not only for mama, but for baby too. Did you know that before a baby is born, it can already show the signs of arterial disease before a baby's born? And the umbilical cord, if they test it, there's already hundreds of toxins that are found before a baby even is born. So we need to give the baby and the mom everything we can to give them a good start. And Juice Plus is the most researched product in the world. You can ask Siri, she will tell you. And the other part of that is, I'm not going to go through this, but we have over 40 clinical studies that shows what Juice Plus does in the body. And these studies are done at major universities in 4 continents. Many of these you've heard, I talked about MD Anderson, UCLA, Arizona, University of Arizona, Yale. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And what does it show us? Everything from head to toe. We know that Juice Plus benefits the gums and the teeth. As we talked about the omegas, it's good for the brain. We have studies that shows the heart is benefited, the circulatory system, the lungs improved, the digestive system gets better. People's inflammation goes down. So often their pain gets better. They need less medication very often. Again, everybody's different how they react to it, but we know this happens in the body. And then, of course, we're all wanting to support our immune systems, right? With all these little cold and flu seasons upon us. So what are we doing for that, right? This helps actually to support your immune system. And so if I do get a cold, it's so much more mild than it would have been before I took Juice Plus. That's my own personal experience. And it's kind of funny, as we looked at this research, when I first started eating Juice Plus on a day-to-day basis, which was 14 years ago, you guys. I know I look, I'm 21 here, right? But just 14 years ago, I was waiting for something to happen because I kept hearing about all these phenomenal stories. But I can tell you, I did not feel one darn thing for 7 years. 7 years. So why did I keep taking it? Because of this. Because I knew the research is solid. It was doing good things in my body. We don't always feel heart disease. Let's say, for example, one of the first signs of heart disease is a massive heart attack. Whoops. Is a massive heart attack. I mean, and 50% of those aren't going to live. The same thing with prevention. We could stand in front of a or like if we get an x-ray or something, we don't feel any of that damage, but we know it's harming us. But with prevention, we might not feel that either. So after about 7 years, people started telling me my skin looked 10 to 15 years younger, and I was like, yes! I don't come from good genetically skin background. The kids used to follow my mom's wrinkles. They were so deep in her face, and I have her skin. So I was thrilled to hear that. I am Irish and very fair skinned, and I used to burn just looking at the sun, and now I don't burn like that anymore. And then also I realized I wasn't getting my antidepressants filled in the winter because I have SAD, seasonal affective disorder, and so I noticed that as well. So I'm just so thrilled that I stuck with it. And it's been now 14 years because I don't get a rental body after this one. And if I don't take care of it, somebody else will. And this Dr. Dubois, he's was amazing. He said there is nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. Okay, and then our last research I just want to touch base on is we have research done, believe it or not, on children. We have some other studies, but this is what we call our Healthy Starts program. So when an adult gets started with these Juice Plus capsules, they can actually sponsor a child between 4 and 18, and we pay for their product for 4 years. Because a lot of times, what do we do as parents? We do everything for our kids, and we put ourselves on the back burner. We have to keep ourselves healthy and well, and our cups filled up. And then also we're being a role model. So we are coming in this healthy journey together so that we continue on and we have grandkids and we can be on the ground playing with them. And as you can see here, you know, people are missing less school, taking less medicine, drinking more water, less doctor visits, and a lot of people will start actually craving fruits and vegetables. So it's just a wonderful gift. And again, the person who invited you could tell you more. My thing doesn't want to work. I don't know why. Let's try one more time here. Okay. And Juice Plus is not about treating or curing specific conditions or diseases. It's simply just getting more healthful plant-based nutrition with a higher concentration to deliver a powerful punch. And it's supported by over 20 years of independent clinical research. So if you take all these things, like I said, we could do one simple change. You could maybe just start drinking more water, maybe start moving and walking 30 minutes a day. Maybe you can add the fruit and vegetable, you know, berry capsules or the omegas or just a complete shakes or getting a tower garden, right? That could be one simple change. So we all have to decide what's going to work for us and what we're ready to do. And so that's one thing. But the other wonderful program that we're just going to take a few minutes as we wrap up to talk about is our Shred 10. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal program. And it's actually incorporating all of that together, okay? And so when you are flooding your body with all of this great nutrition, good things happen. So along with this, just to touch base real quick, you will get some recipe ideas, you get some guidelines to follow. We'll talk about that. You get some recipe ideas, and then we have a community of people who are sharing. And when you have accountability, we're more likely to stick with it because it's for 10 days. And we're going to talk about 10 habits. And why is this important? Well, when we're filled with toxins, we don't feel right. Maybe we get a little puffy. And so what do a lot of us do is we turn to dieting or we start exercising. But diet trumps exercise. And so a lot of times you can lose weight by not eating healthy foods, right? But what happens is those toxins stay in your body. And what the body does, because it wants to protect your organs, then that fat is eventually going to come back on because it'll wrap around those impurities to keep your organs more safe. But when you are detoxing or cleansing like the Shred 10 does, you're actually helping to get rid of those toxins so that you're able to maintain a more stable weight. And some people need to actually gain weight and they can do the Shred too. This is not a weight loss program. This is a health program. And that's what we want to aim for. So here are the guidelines for the Shred. So we can add more plant foods, Juice Plus capsules daily. Want to drink 1 to 2 complete shakes a day. And when I personally do the Shred, I like to have 2 shakes a day. I do 1 shake a day all the time anyways. You want to drink plenty of water, and a great way to decide how much water is to take your body weight, divide that in half. That's a minimum. So if you weigh 200 pounds, a minimum of 100 ounces of water if you're sedentary every day. And another great way to tell if you're drinking enough water is check the color of your urine. You know, if it's glowing yellow, you are dehydrated. You need to drink more water. Also, when you're dehydrated, you might get more headaches, you might get more fatigue, and you can also get more constipation. So water is just good across the board. Taking deep breaths. You guys can tell I talk fast. I've slowed down my talking. Can you believe that? I know it's true, but it's true. But you have to take breaths along the way, sleeping 7 to 8 hours daily, and then exercise most days. Then you want to reduce or eliminate altogether, again, what you're looking for. Reduce or eliminate caffeine and alcohol. Stop eating after 6 p.m. because you want to have this intermittent fasting. The body does good healing, good recovery during that time. It's really important. And then if eliminate processed foods. And then altogether you want to eliminate gluten and dairy, and then no artificial and refined sugars. So those are the Shred guidelines to follow. So one simple change, or you can go all out and follow them all. No judgment here. And what is some of the common results of this? Well, people start craving more fruits and vegetables, a healthier weight, better recovery from workout, improved sleep. And that's what I noticed doing my first Shred. I used to wake up at 3 in the morning every night, and then I woke up and it was 5:30 in the morning, and I'm like looking at my watch. I thought I was in a time warp. I was like, what is going on? It was wonderful to have slept. More energy, healthier hair, nails, and skin, improved regularity. And yes, we're talking about poop here. You shouldn't have little round balls, or little mucusy things. You want nice little formed stools. And people don't want to talk about poop, but it's really important because it tells a lot about what's going on inside your body. And then increased mental clarity. And this is something that I hear from a lot of people. I would say increased energy, more regularity, and mental clarity is what I personally hear from most of my people that I share Juice Plus with. And who doesn't want increased mental clarity? Okay, and then we talked about our resources that we have available to you at that point. And here we have this Complete Creations, which is really good. It's wonderful because the people in our community have put all this together for us, and it's available to us. I mean, it's just a terrific program. And it's affordable, you guys. It's simple and easy and affordable. So depending, again, what you want to do, I do all of this. I mean, if you get a Starbucks coffee, $4 or more, really, for a cup of coffee that's mostly ice and not good for you, or you're talking, maybe $4.55 a day to get this phenomenal nutrition that's proven to do wonderful things in your body. It's our choice. What do we want to do to invest in us? And then, as we kind of just wrap up here, as we're talking about this too, this is all about you. There's no judgment here. We're glad you took the time to be with us. You have the option to join us. You can join our Shred 10. It starts October 4th. We are going to be doing a raffle. We always do a raffle for our Shred. So at the end of that 10 days, depending on your participation level, we choose 3 winners. Maybe one of you will win our little shaker cup here. Okay. And then we'll have 2 other prizes as well. So you can become a customer with Juice Plus, but also invite people to Shred along with you. You can become a partner and share this with 3 or 5 other people. And man, magic happens when that gets going, especially when people are around you. It's kind of fun to start bouncing these fun ideas off of each other. And then you can earn some extra income and get a little bit of that sales profit back on your own personal orders as well. So you have a couple of choices, and you can also choose to do nothing and just, enjoy the evening and the weather. The fall colors are beautiful out there. So, and then I love this at the end. Share the gift of hope with others. And really, that's what we're doing, you guys. We are sharing hope with others. We're not even making a difference for us here on this call, but our future generations are going to be impacted. When I talked about those children who need a better start, if we can get our kids healthier as they grow up through life and their bodies are healthier, they're going to have healthier babies. We can change this whole cycle of disease and illness around. And I'm telling you, it's expensive to be sick. It's limiting. We think we're kind of confined to our homes now, but when you're sick and you're dependent on a wheelchair, when I travel to other countries, there aren't all the people in the wheelchairs like we have here. They're just not. I mean, there are some, but it's just so different. And so we have to just see where we're at. So I know I told you about a half an hour, so I want to be respectful of time, but I'm really, really happy you joined us tonight. If you have any questions, please talk to the person who invited you. This is a life-changing journey, and just taking the step to be on this call tonight says a lot, and we just appreciate your time. Look forward to your feedback. If you decide to become part of our Shred group, please post in our our group, because we want to learn from you. There's so many ideas I don't know, and I continue. I'm always learning from people, and so we can kind of come together on that journey. So thank you again. I'm going to stop recording.